Welcome back to the Rockville campus of Montgomery College. Michael Brown alongside Sean Kobrin. We're ready to start the bottom half of the first inning. So, Sean, let's take a look at Germantown's defense.
Well, Behringer, the backup catcher, is at the plate today, so we'll see how he calls the game. But the challenge is going to be for the outfielders, especially Kenny Voigt in center and Alex Adamas in right. We saw a double drop right on the fair line in the first inning, so that's a lot of ground for Adamas to cover.
And also, let's take a look now while we have a chance at the Rockville batting order.
Well, Kyle Errett, the starting shortstop, leads the team in batting average, slugging, RBIs, basically the offensive catalyst in every game, but especially in the first game between these two teams, along with C.J. Stecker. John Morley hitting ninth, but he had 4 hits in the first game that these two teams met. And also look out for Greg Laser. He's the leadoff hitter, first in on-base percentage with the team, gets on the base more than half the time, usually gets this team going.
Yeah, he leads the team in walks and also hit by pitch. He's been hit by the pitch over 10 times this season.
Yeah, well, the funny thing about Laser, the guy gets a lot of hits, but when you add his free passes together, his walks and his hit by pitch, he has more of those than he has hits. So he's just a guy who knows how to get on base and a guy you want as a teammate to be a leadoff hitter because he's willing to give up the body to get his team started.
Well, he's got an over a 500 on-base percentage, which means more than half the time he comes up, he gets on base by one way or another.
And he's certainly due against Germantown. He went 0 for 5 in the first game, which is really unusual for him to pull an 0 for, especially with that many at-bats, because he's usually at least drawing a walk.
Well, we got Kevin Story on the mound for Germantown. He's a power pitcher, and his first pitch is low for a ball. This brings up a very interesting storyline, no pun intended, Sean, but we have the Story brothers in the game today. We have Kevin on the mound, and he's going to be facing his brother coming up here in just a couple of minutes, Doug, who's the DH for today's game.
Yeah, Doug, a regular outfielder, also the DH today, and twin brothers decided to go to different schools. Went to Damascus High School, where a lot of these players can choose between Rockville and Germantown, and even in one family, they split the choice.
Yeah, that's a real interesting dynamic there. I'd love to be at the dinner table when that discussion was held.
And I wonder what the parents are doing today. Are they wearing one of those half red, half green jerseys that you see?
All right, Kevin Story, a power pitcher, another surprise. He's only a freshman, leads the team in innings pitched, and is tied for the lead in. There's a pop-up out into short left field, and Kessinger has it with no problem. So 1 up, 1 away, and that brings up Stecker, C.J. Stecker, one of the 4 returning sophomore on the Rockville team this year.
And he was 1 for 4 with a walk and a run driven in against Germantown in their first go-around this year.
6'2", 175 out of Potomac High School in Virginia. And he fouls it off.
But it looks like, you know, at least when you see the first inning, a little bad luck by Carly with a bloop double down the line and an error, but he was really locating the curveball, and Kevin Story has been quite on a roll. His last start a complete game, 7 hits, only 1 earned run.
And there's he fouls that one right into his foot, and that's smarts. And you can see that, boy, he fouled that ball directly down onto the foot, and there it is, right off the right toe.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked with C.J. Stecker prior to the game, and he really described how Rockville is starting to play a lot better together. A lot of freshmen on this team starting to hang out off the field, band together on the field. So he's a tough guy, and he's ready to take a cut right there.
He hits it hard to left, but Kessinger's there and makes the play. Well hit, but right at Kessinger.
You know, interesting. Story is a power pitcher, but so far 2 guys have pulled the ball. Pulled the ball right at Kessinger pretty much, but a couple solid cuts so far.
And here's a guy who gets a lot of solid cuts. This is Kyle Errett. As you talked about when you were setting the lineup, he is the offensive leader in just about every category for Rockville.
Yeah, he's the all-everything player for Rockville, and you know, you need a guy like that in the 3-hole. Leads them in RBIs, batting average, and stolen bases too.
And that just missed him. So
You know, we talked about the Story brothers, and Kyle's older brother played for Germantown, so there's a little bit of family blood in this for Kyle Arrett, too.
His brother Andy played the last 2 seasons for Germantown.
And you can see him swinging out of his shoes on that swing right there. He saw that high fastball and wanted to take it somewhere.
Oh, his eyes got very large. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, nobody on for Rockville. Bottom half of the first inning. And there's a strike on the inside corner at the knees.
Yeah, from our vantage point, it looks like a lot of low strikes are being called. And for both pitchers who are generally locating the ball up high, that's going to be a good changeup for them as far as changing location.
And there is strike 3 called, 3rd strike. Very interesting to see the way Behringer set up on the outside, came in on the inside, strike 3. So that is, and we're going to take a look at that strikeout before we go to break.
Well,
and
not where he wanted it, but he got it done.
He got it done. And that is the end of 1 inning of play. Germantown on top, 1-0. We'll be right back with the top of the second after this.